November 11, 2022. An exchange once valued at $32 billion quietly files for bankruptcy. Inside the company, employees refresh their inboxes, waiting for instructions that never arrive. Outside, customers hammer the refresh button on their apps, watching withdrawals fail in real time. In just 72 hours, nearly $6 billion tries to escape and doesn't. The founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, was supposed to be the adult in the room, the ethical billionaire, the safe pair of hands, the man regulators trusted. Now, court filings warn that the number of creditors could exceed 1 million. So here's the uncomfortable question. How did the guy selling trust build the most efficient money trap of the decade? To understand how this happened, you have to understand the character at the center of it. Sam Bankman-Fried didn't look like a Wall Street villain. He wore hoodies, slept on beanbags, and spoke in math nerd rambling sentences. He talked about effective altruism, making as much money as possible so he could give it away later. To the world, he didn't look greedy. He looked responsible. Now drop that personality into the crypto boom of 2020 and 2021. Interest rates were near zero. Stimulus money flooded markets. Everyone was chasing yield. And crypto exchanges started to look less like casinos and more like banks, except they weren't regulated like banks. People parked billions of dollars there. Not to gamble, but to store money. This is where the machine forms. On one side, there's FTX, the clean, friendly exchange promising safety and professionalism. On the other, there's Alameda Research, a hyper-aggressive trading firm run by the same inner circle. Two entities, one founder, and almost no meaningful wall between them. So, ask yourself this. If a traditional bank secretly moved customer deposits to its sister hedge fund, would you call that innovation or a crime with better marketing? Once the machine is built, the boom arrives fast. Very fast. FTX doesn't grow quietly. It explodes into the mainstream. Celebrity ads flood television screens. Politicians shake hands. Journalists write profiles that sound less like reporting and more like admiration. This, the world is told, is the responsible crypto exchange. By early 2022, investors value FTX at $32 billion. Sam Bankman-Fried becomes the face of grown-up crypto. He testifies, advises, donates, and reassures. If crypto needs rules, he says, he'll help write them. And people believe him because trust loves confidence, especially when confidence wears a moral badge. This is the dangerous phase. The phase where nobody asks boring questions anymore. Not about controls. Not about custody. Not about whether customer money is actually sitting safely where it's supposed to be. When everyone important is in the room, skepticism feels rude. Due diligence feels unnecessary. And so, the story sells itself. FTX isn't just an exchange. It's a brand of safety in a risky world. A place where chaos is managed. A place where you don't need to worry. Which should make you pause, because in finance, the moment someone tells you not to worry is usually the moment you should worry the most. So ask yourself this. When trust becomes the product, what exactly is left protecting the customer? The first cracks don't appear on price charts. They appear on balance sheets. Quietly. Behind the scenes, reports begin to circulate that Alameda Research, the aggressive trading firm next door, is sitting on a mountain of assets tied to a token created by FTX itself. Not cash. Not government bonds. Confidence. Printed as collateral. This is where physics matters. When your collateral is your own reputation, the system only works as long as nobody questions it. The moment doubt enters the room, confidence doesn't fade, it collapses. A rumor becomes a margin call. A tweet becomes a bank run. Then comes the match near the gasoline. A public rival questions FTX's stability and announces plans to sell its exposure. Suddenly, what was once theoretical becomes painfully real. Customers don't read balance sheets. They read headlines. And headlines move faster than money. This is the fatal paradox of trust-based finance. The product only works if everyone believes. And the moment belief becomes negotiable, the clock starts ticking. So ask yourself, when the thing you're selling is trust, what happens the second trust gets a price tag? Once doubt turns public, everything accelerates. Customers don't analyze. They react. In just 72 hours, users try to withdraw nearly $6 billion from FTX. The platform slows, then freezes. Withdrawals fail one by one, like doors slamming shut in a burning building. This is a bank run without a bank branch. No lines on the sidewalk. No glass windows. Just millions of fingers tapping refresh. All at once. Asking the same question, is my money still there? For a brief moment, hope appears. A rival exchange announces it may step in. Headlines flash the word rescue. Markets inhale. Maybe there is an adult coming after all. Then the hope evaporates. After a look inside the books, the deal collapses. No bailout. No savior. Just silence. On November 11, 2022, FTX files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Sam Bankman-Fried resigns as CEO. The empire that promised safety dies the most classic death in finance because it ran out of trust before it ran out of headlines. Court documents later describe a catastrophic failure of controls, unreliable financial information, and a system where nobody seemed to know who was guarding the vault. So here's the brutal truth. This wasn't complicated. It was just fragile. The damage doesn't stop at bankruptcy filings. It spreads outward. Hundreds of thousands of customers find themselves locked out of accounts they thought were as safe as a checking account. Startups lose operating cash overnight. Charities tied to FTX's promises freeze projects. The cost isn't just financial, it's human. Investigators later warn that the number of creditors could exceed 1 million, turning a crypto collapse into a mass financial trauma. For regulators, this is the nightmare scenario. A non-bank institution causing bank-scale damage, and the myth finally dies. The myth that charisma can replace controls. The myth that good intentions are a substitute for boring rules. The myth that markets will magically discipline themselves before the damage is done. In court, the story becomes painfully ordinary. Sloppy accounting. Conflicts of interest. Money moved without consent. The hoodie comes off. The poster boy becomes a warning label. Here's the lesson hiding beneath the spectacle. The biggest financial disasters don't start with evil masterminds. They start with small shortcuts unchecked. Unchallenged because the numbers are going up, and nobody wants to be the boring person asking boring questions. If a company can move your money without your explicit permission, it isn't just an exchange. It's a bank. And banks need walls, audits, and rules that don't care how inspiring the founder sounds on stage. So the next time someone sells you trust, ask for proof. Ask who guards the vault. Ask what happens when confidence disappears. Because history is clear about one thing: bubbles change costumes, but the ending is always the same. If this story helped you see the plumbing behind the promises, hit like, subscribe, and share it, because understanding financial history is still the cheapest insurance money can buy.